Hey everyone, Dakota Frandsen here, specialist of the strange. I just wanted to come with you real quick about potentially doing your own podcast. Have you ever wanted to start your own podcast? Maybe you got a lot of questions like, how do I record? How do I get my show into all these apps that are out there? How can I make money? There are probably several thousand other questions about getting this show off the ground that you have been formulating and communicating in your mind. And I'm here to tell you that there is a very simple answer to this. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, distributing your show. And best of all, it is 100% free. Get all the perks from the other guys without having to pay for subscription fees. And best of all, it is easy. And in fact, Anchor can match you up with sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast right now, which means you can get paid doing what you love. Isn't that the fucking dream, my friends? In fact, that's actually what I'm trying to do right now by reading this ad for you. It is amazing. It helps ease the process for guests, putting on music, whatever you want to do. So if you want to start your podcast, make some money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start to join me and several other fabulous people already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. And I cannot wait to hear you on the air.
I said brilliant!
Alright. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dakota Frandsen. Today is March 20th, 2020. I am currently recording this as both a YouTube video and as a broadcast on my radio show, Specialist of the Strange radio show. I mentioned before that due to obligations to filming a new paranormal series, as well as other matters that have been coming up, that there may be a bit of a delay when it comes to new episodes, new content. and I asked you all to be understanding of it. On my way back from my little trip to film the show, I promised to do a video in which I talk about certain things that went on, certain matters. Some of you seem to get offended whenever I deviate from certain paranormal topics, and some of you may be uncomfortable with me getting real right now. But this is a topic that's important. These topics are matters that should be discussed in times like these. I know you were probably thinking, oh, I had such an amazing time, which I did. That's the type of discussion I'm going to have during this. But that's not my goal here. I want to talk a little bit about this COVID-19 situation that's going on. I want to talk a bit about my road trip and some things that have been coming to my mind in regards to it, as well as a few other things. And I really didn't want to do a lot of focus on this COVID-19 mess because the situation's just chaotic enough as is. But there have been certain developments within the last week, I should say, that I feel like I need to address. My first day up there, up in Boise, Idaho, I received a notification on my phone that the first official case of COVID-19 was reported in the area I was in. There was a slight chance I may have been exposed. However, due to the lack of severity behind my symptoms and how the limited resources, I was not officially tested. However, we're not exactly sure how they contracted it, but I had received news this morning that one of my four-year-old cousins and her mother have officially been put on a 12-day lockdown. The 4-year-old, she was born premature. She was a twin, fraternal twin. Her and her sister normally have some sort of, they usually get sick around this time of year due to complications from the fact that they were premature. It's nothing serious. I firmly believe that she'll overcome this, but unfortunately, because of her age and because of her conditions, she is a much higher priority all around. So I'm just going to have some happy thoughts in that regard. I myself have been dealing with a bit of a cough, a bit of a headache, to where I spent the last 2 days off of work. Figured I normally have 3 days off in a row, so give me some time to rest, give me some time to recuperate. I'm starting to feel certain things in my chest. I don't know if this is stress related or not. I'm a big guy, so there's a lot of things that could go down. Overall, I'm feeling fine. A little groggy. But I've been in a lot worse situations. And as I believe most people will, society will overall, we will overcome this. COVID-19 is just going to be another new bug that we gotta be on the alert for. Technically nothing can be done right now, except for taking precautions and waiting it out until a vaccine is available, which could take 1-2 years. And right now here in the United States, we're not doing so hot. And it's not because of the virus itself, it's because of people's reactions to it. I will stand in the regards that the media has blown this thing out of proportion. It caught the media's tendencies, and yes, they do exaggerate many topics in order to try to get a rise out of the public. The media's reaction in this regard is freaking out a lot of people. There are people, thanks to my contacts in law enforcement, I can tell you that there are people scoping out houses of people who that just barely manage to pick up groceries. I apologize for those of you watching the YouTube version of this video, the actual video version of this recording. If I'm glancing away, I'm kind of monitoring a bunch of stuff all at once here. But people are starting to scope out houses to rob, seeing who's hoarding. There's people who are purposely yanking certain supplies away from the elderly, those who have young children, people who actually need these supplies just so they can try to make a buck later down the line, which is illegal, by the way. And during these times of crisis, normally police wouldn't look into these matters, but due to these times, these crises, these pandemics, whatever you want to call it, police will start to enforce those laws. However, there is a loophole. If you go to sell it, make sure it's only to get the money back. Don't try to make a profit off of it, you assholes. And some of you, I also know that quite a few people are making threats to jack truck drivers to harm people because stores have started to refuse returns in these areas. Because once again, there are as many people that are scared, there's as many people that are trying to take advantage of this situation. And that's the problem. That's what's really going to cause issues. It's not the virus. The virus, best case scenario, if you were to contract this virus, is going to make you miserable for a few days. Yes, there's situations where it can put you into ICU. And if you or someone you know has these certain conditions, whether or not, or if you just have elderly or the really young in your family, just keep an eye on them. Don't be afraid to offer up making supply runs if you can. Trust me, I'm worried as hell about this. My little cousin, and I have another cousin who also has issues. She's severely asthmatic, and same for my girlfriend. I'm worried the hell about them. Let's not try to tear into each other. And I'm saying this, and yes, I'm going to just call this person out just in case they're deciding to scope out my videos. Let's not go to target each other just because one person is whining. I'm addressing this because there has been confrontations due to the fact that someone is not very happy that I had to report them for suspected child abuse. And there have been repercussions. There have been people making harassing calls. These will be documented for further notice. But all this is the point I want to talk about. We are getting to where we are so self-obsessed with making ourselves look good. We're purposely trying to hurt each other in times we need each other most. There's a lot of people out there who think I'm some sort of special person because I'm able to go off on these fantastic adventures. I'm just a regular guy who happens to have a few weird tricks up his sleeve. I'm a guy who's been able to spin things that have happened to him in a positive manner. And I want to keep doing that. I want to be able to keep pushing, keep providing, keep making these contents. Keep making content like this, but what's the point if people are only going to hurt each other? There's some of you who watch my stuff who have actually, even though I have very little control over the situations, but who have actually offered to help me in times of crisis. Extend that to your neighbors, extend that to your friends, your family. COVID-19 is not going to wipe us out. It's human stupidity. There's a lot we can learn from this. To be honest, when it's like, I don't know, I'm kind of getting scatterbrained here. I'm sorry. Anyway, with this bug, we're not. Yeah, I mean, there's. I'm sorry, there's just a lot here to cover. And there's also there's those of you who are trying to claim that this virus was released in order to help China, to help certain politicians try to help politicians in various areas gain the upper hand in upcoming elections to boost economic growth. Some of you who are trying to claim that China may have released this virus to try to weaken the rest of the world. There's a lot going on. China purposely falsifies certain details of what's going on within its walls. It's not as bad as it used to, but it's still going on. And in China, the Chinese government has had a long history of suppressing information. Certain areas are taking more proactive measures where they have dealt with similar outbreaks like this before. That here in the U.S. we think we're the top dogs out there. Here in the U.S. we have absolutely no experience with, so that's why they're able to bounce back quicker. We're seeing a lot of environmental changes, areas where nature is starting to take back the areas that have long been in lockdown. I've seen the photos coming out of Venice where the waterways are becoming clearer, animals have been returning. There's been photos coming out of China where vehicles that have just been left to sit this entire time have actually started to sprout plants. That's gotta be interesting repairs, now that I think about it. I'll be honest. These changes, it could very well just be a sign of something. We need to let this be our wake-up call. To try to do better, not just for ourselves, but for others. I think that's the point I'm trying to get to. Feel free to pursue your own dreams, but acknowledge the repercussions that they bring, good or bad. It's becoming really obvious that I don't really script these videos, huh? But nevertheless, in fact, during some of my time, when I get to do some free time, I'm going to be getting ready to do another Hunt for Infinite Earths video, which I already have the thumbnail ready for you. Yeah, if you're watching the YouTube, watching the actual video where you can see my beautiful mug, you'll see the thumbnail pop up right around here. But this is something. But I'm getting off track. I'm sorry. Getting to do. Well, as I was trying to say, I know I've kind of gotten to a bit of a tirade, but unfortunately, due to this voice you're on and the news about my cousin that I got this morning, kind of got off onto a tirade. But all in all, these past few situations have been putting a lot of thought in. Some of you may be trying to ask, oh, what, Dakota, you're just some paranormal guy. What does this have to do with that? It's events like these that make our mark. Moments like these where our emotions are high that leave our mark, leave our anchor in certain parts of time to where our spirits will continue to relive these moments. How do I mean that? I mean, look at Gettysburg. Battles are still being fought by the same damn soldiers that are already dead. It's moments like these that define our world, and based on some of the experiments I've done, it seems like there are other worlds dealing with similar panics. This is probably the worst shirt to be wearing in this type of video. For those of you listening to the audio broadcast, it's a Deadpool shirt saying, shh, no one cares. I know I'm kind of bouncing around all over the place, and I'm sorry. There's a lot to take in with this. There's a lot to take in. So I'm going to try to wrap this up. Let's just focus on being kind to one another. Even once you get yourself settled, don't be afraid to extend supply runs for friends and family. I mean, today there's an officer who I grabbed baby wipes for because he was running out of stuff for his little baby he just had not too long ago. Meds, if you're gonna stock up, respect the limits out there. Be kind to other people who are just as scared, if not more so, about this, who are just as worried about someone getting sick. This is only gonna get worse before it gets better. So I think I'm gonna end on that note. If you're listening to the radio show, tune in next week. I'm going to be trying to pump out as many episodes as I can. I'm going to go, I know I kind of skipped ahead, pushed back the Crowley episode. We're going to talk about Aleister Crowley, man considered to be the wickedest man in the world. We're going to... Then I'm thinking we're going to go into an episode on possession. The science of it. Why certain phenomenon seems to take place during a possession of any kind, and not just demonic. Trust me, that's information you're going to right here. And, like I said, if you have any ideas for future episodes, let me know. Drop me a message on any of my social media accounts. Leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. Whatever it is you're doing. And I'll catch you on the next run. See you later, my friends.